Hello, it's Tim Reagan again, founder of the Free Agent Collective and entrepreneur, author, and long-serving free agent. Welcome to video number 2 of my free workshop series, Success on Your Own Terms. Now, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to create sustainable momentum. And more importantly, this will help you have less stress and more predictable results. So if you're new to taking real ownership of your career, but you aren't sure how you can create sustainable momentum, or if you're a longtime free agent looking to commit to effective daily and weekly actions to really turbocharge your success, then you're going to discover how freelancers, consultants, solopreneurs, and intrapreneurs like you and me can create sustainable momentum and why it's critical that you focus on this right now. Now, as we go forward, I'm going to turn off the video, my video, so that you can just follow along with the slides and listen to what I'm talking about. So I'm going to just turn this off right now. Now, in video number 1, we introduced a detailed blueprint for creating a purposeful and rewarding professional life. And I shared how this is going to immediately help you start to attract better work projects. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it now, and then come back and watch this one. So today I'm going to build on what we discussed by sharing the number 1 thing that you must master if you want to create real sustainable momentum. And you can think of this as your first step towards making this happen. Now, this is an entirely new way of thinking about growing and thriving in your career, so you'll want to pay close attention. I'm also going to share how to build your own weekly heartbeat into your activities. And when you know how to do this, you'll know exactly how to find and land those great fit paid projects that we talked about in video number 1. Now, the goal here is to break you free of that endless spin cycle of busy work. Like submitting endless RFPs, spending hours squandering your precious time on job boards, or spinning your wheels on urgent but not important tasks. This way, you'll never have to worry about how to create sustainable momentum, which means that you'll have less stress and more predictable results. So we've got a lot to cover today, so be sure to have your pen and paper ready to take some notes as you follow along. Now, anytime you're trying to create sustainable momentum, it's inevitable that you're going to hit some roadblocks. And you might have experienced some of them already. So these are things like being blocked by gatekeepers, finding out that there's no project budget, and even prospects going quiet on you after weeks and sometimes months of lively two-way engagement. Well, here's what I know to be absolutely true. If any of this sounds familiar, it's totally normal. But if you simply accept this at face value, that this is the way things happen, then you're never going to be able to create the sustainable momentum to break through. And I know where you're coming from. I get that it feels like sometimes this is out of your hands. And it's frustrating to come up against these things time and time again. I've been there myself, and I've seen other freelancers, consultants, solopreneurs, and intrapreneurs go through the same thing. And it's especially stressful because you know that getting past these challenges is key to helping you create sustainable momentum. So in this video, I'm going to make it easy for you. I'll help you avoid these usual headaches by showing you some simple steps that I follow to create sustainable momentum, which will save you a ton of time. Now, however, before we go any further, it's important that I bring your attention to something that often gets overlooked as you begin to see this at a practical level. And ignoring this virtually guarantees that you're going to have a tough time trying to create sustainable momentum. And it's easy to think that you have to do it their way, follow their rules. But this is a really dangerous assumption to make, and I don't want you falling into this trap. But at some point, most of us believe that this is true, and myself included. And this big assumption is why so many freelancers, consultants, solopreneurs, and intrapreneurs are struggling. So coming up, I'll reveal the truth behind the old belief that you have to do it their way. And more importantly, I'll share with you what you need to know instead. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's video. Now, it all starts with your vision and your mission. Now, vision is a specific current description of your future. The time scale for a vision is typically 5 to 15 years, and it should do two things. The first is that it should inspire you and others that you share it with. And number two is it points you toward some specific goals. Now, a mission statement describes what you want to contribute to life. So it does three important things. First, it establishes a focus for your life. Second, it gives meaning to the things that you do. And finally, it provides a context for making decisions. So why do you really need these? Well, you know, as they say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So your vision and mission exploration is all part of your foundation work in the Reboot Your Career Blueprint, which was covered off in our first video training. So again, if you haven't seen that training, go back and see where vision and mission fits in. Creating your foundation provides you with a long-term view of where you want to go and who you see yourself becoming. And that's a powerful hook to hang some very tactical activities onto. So let's get really tactical now so you can start to build and sustain our career momentum. So it starts now with having a basic 90-day plan. Nothing too elaborate here. We're not talking about a super detailed multi-page plan. In fact, the template that we use is a single page with a couple of short sections and a real preference for bullet point statements. Now, what's the test for a good 90-day plan? Here it is. It should clearly support and align with the direction and intent of your declared mission and vision statements. And if it doesn't do that, then you're back on that road to nowhere, or the road to anywhere, I guess. So Jan, a client of mine who is new to the city, laid out a 90-day plan that mainly revolved around researching all networking events, meetups, and other face-to-face activities happening in the city. And this gave her a really rapid introduction to her new city, got her out and meeting new people, and really gave her a solid lay of the land and a huge amount of confidence in and familiarity with her new environment. So these 90-day plans aren't at all hard to create. They only require taking a few minutes to quietly reflect on your key development focus for the next 90 days. Okay, so now you've got a long-term mission and vision articulated, and you've written down your 90-day goals. So now you move in that direction week by week by week. So I really like to think in terms of what I call your weekly heartbeat. And a week, when you think about it, is a great length of time to routinely measure your progress in, because it's a long enough time to actually get something concrete completed. You know, that could be your new frame for your website. It could be that critical proposal off your table. It could be reaching out and meeting a number of people. So it's a long enough time to actually get something concrete completed. And it's a short enough period that you can easily course correct when 1 or 2 weeks don't go the way you planned, because you get 13 kicks at the can in any 90-day period. Now, the key here is building your routine, your success habit, and building it into your daily and weekly activities. And again, this doesn't take a whole bunch of time to do this. In fact, once you build in the habit, you'll find that it saves you many hours weekly, and it helps keeping you from getting too distracted with all the shiny toys and gadgets that are popping up everywhere in our lives. So let's go now one step deeper into what this weekly heartbeat might look like. So here's 6 specific activities that by committing to them weekly will absolutely get you building real momentum. And most importantly, building the habit of taking real control of your environment and your professional life. Now, at the beginning of the week, take a few minutes to write down the one big thing you want to accomplish in that coming week. So not 5, not 3, or a list of a dozen things, but the one big thing that will actually make a difference. Because as we all know, we'll still fill up the week with a bunch of to-do lists and lots of other stuff that needs to get done. But this deliberate process keeps one eye firmly on the important thing, not just the urgent stuff that's coming at you every day. Now, in writing that one big thing, focus on making it SMART. And you probably have heard this expression before. SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and with a timeline for doing it. So now you have a really clear view on what a great outcome for your week will look like. Now, I like a midweek check-in, which is really a 2-minute ritual to help pull you back out of the weeds and ask yourself, am I progressing my one big thing? Have I done any of the work that's needed to be done to deliver that one big thing this week? So again, a chance to do some midweek correction if you're just not getting to the really important thing that you earmarked for the week. So what I like to do is on a Sunday afternoon, I'll think about and write down my one big thing. And then Wednesday after the workday, when I've got 3 days of work behind me in a 5 or 6 day work week, because as a free agent, one works oftentimes for unusual schedules. But what I do is on a Wednesday, late Wednesday afternoon or early evening, I sit down and reflect, how am I doing against my one big thing? Have I really had a successful Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and in really making some progress toward it, or have other things got in my way? What do I need to do to redouble my efforts to deliver on my one big thing? Now, at the end of your work week, commit to spending 5 or 10 minutes to quickly record in bullet point form your weekly traffic light status. Now, what this means is this is a green, yellow, red status on the week. So green are those things that you advanced and you're feeling very comfortable about. Yellow are those things that are falling behind, but you do believe that you can recover them without missing deadlines or external commitments. And red are things that are really out of control and might need to be rethought, or where you might actually need to get some help, or you might need to think about what's going to be the consequences of missing this deliverable. So once you've developed this routine and you want to advance your game further, then you can create a few weekly metrics that will help you keep regular focus on those things that you've decided really help in describing and advancing your success. Now, all of this that we've covered might sound like a lot of work, but actually, once you put it in place, you'll be amazed at how it helps you get more good work done every week, the important work done week in and week out. And you're going to be amazed at how quickly it advances you toward your objectives. Now, not including the journaling aspect, this takes no more than 45 minutes weekly to get into the routine, and that time reduces to less than 30 minutes weekly once you've gone through the cycle a few times and get into a weekly routine. So 30 minutes weekly, and now you'll be taking regular, concrete steps in implementing your 90-day plans and progressively moving toward your vision of the future you. So that's the fundamentals of your weekly heartbeat, which is all about building momentum week in and week out. Here are some complementary planning tools, which as you nail your weekly heartbeat, you can start to add in, which are going to advance your progress even more. So with a 90-day objective planning in place and your weekly heartbeat up and running, you've now got all the tools you need to get the important work identified and done. And that's going to make all the difference in the world in terms of building your confidence, your momentum, and regularly delivering impressive results. And so far, it's all been pretty simple and straightforward. It really doesn't have to get needlessly complicated. But having said that, as your sophistication with the basic tools improves, there's a few enhancements that you might want to consider adding into your planning toolbox that will further accelerate your results. Now, committing to regular journaling is a real game changer. It's fundamentally a reflection process, and making it part of your weekly heartbeat is a very powerful addition. And the bonus is that it helps out a lot with formulating your weekly traffic light reporting and your weekly one big thing focus. Now, personally, I combine my weekly journaling with a 10-minute daily morning ritual of capturing my focus for the day, and that's the 5-minute journal activity. It's proven to be a very powerful addition for me. Now, as you work through your 90-day period, it's super easy to run yourself through a quick 30-day and 60-day review process and make any adjustments to the 90-day plan based on the reality of your progress to date. And the true value here is that this short scheduled activity gets you to review your 90-day plan, helping bring you back on track, kind of like a homing signal. Now, one tool that we've been experimenting with inside our clients' 90-day plans is what I refer to as the 5-week sprint. Now, this is a high-priority mini plan that you commit to, and it's short enough to really focus your energy, and it's long enough, 5 weeks, to get something very substantial completed. Now, personally, I had a lot of success with this as a focusing tool for getting book chapters written. And one of my favorite examples from one of my clients was a 5-week sprint focused on decluttering his office. And it's a project that had been on his mind for a few years. And as we all know, these things just kind of clutter up the mind as much as they clutter up the office, and they kind of distract you. And so he committed to this, and bingo, 5 short weeks later, he could see how big his office actually was, and the floor was all clean again. And when you think about the value of doing something like that, that's been kind of, on your mind for a couple of years, and then in one fell swoop getting it done, that feels like a real accomplishment, and it really declutters your own brain and your own, it sort of removes the obstacles from in front of you. And finally, I'm a really big fan of having a deliberate reading and research plan in place so that you're continually sharpening your most important tool, which is your brain. Now, whether in your case it's a preference for podcasts or actual books, YouTube videos, TED Talks, online courses, or any other of the numerous ways that we can educate ourselves, the key here is to be deliberate in your daily and weekly actions and commit to some amount of time per week to actually progress your research plan in whatever area of interest it is that you have in your free agency. So let's do a quick review of what we've covered today. First, we saw a whole new way to think about how to create sustainable momentum. And you can use what you've learned here today to immediately help you commit to effective daily and weekly actions. Plus, you found out how to think about your most effective weekly heartbeat routine so that you know how to develop incredible, sustainable momentum and get more of the important work done with only a commitment to about 30 minutes per week. So I know that we've covered a lot, and there was a fair bit of tactical detail in the plans that we put there. So make sure that you review your notes and maybe go back and re-listen to this video, and so that you can put this into action right away. So speaking of taking action, before we go today, leave me a comment right below this video. Tell me, what will life look like a year from now once you've applied all of this? Knowing how to commit to effective daily and weekly actions absolutely helps you have less stress and more predictable results. And what does that look like to you? Where does that get you in terms of advancing your own career and your own professional and personal life? So get clear about the impact it'll have on your life, the lives of your family, and those around you. So let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, please share it on Facebook, Twitter, or even just simply share this link with a friend. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you the entire framework so that you can become a more successful free agent. And it builds on everything that we've talked about today. And most importantly, it outlines everything from just getting started to fully thriving on your own terms. Now, I believe this is the most valuable training in the whole workshop. You'll walk away with so much clarity about how everything fits together, and you'll see the areas that are most important for you to look after right now. So if you're new to taking real ownership of your career, this will give you the exact track to run on to become a more successful free agent. And if you are already a long-time free agent, then you'll learn the specific steps that you can take right now to amplify the momentum you already have. Plus, you'll identify a few things which are likely holding you back from fully thriving on your own terms the way you really want to. Now, I'm including a PDF download of the entire framework so that you can print that out and use it as a roadmap to become a more successful free agent. So the next video is all about equipping you for long-term success and giving you the big picture strategy for making the progress you're after. But for now, let me leave you with this. Just by learning what we've covered today, you're one step closer to your ultimate goal. You want to do work you love and get paid fairly for it. And you and I both know it's so much more than just that. Because it means you'll have less stress and more time to do the things that matter to you. And that's what really matters. So take what you've learned here today and start putting it into practice. Maybe you're just in the beginning stages, or maybe you can apply it right away. The key thing is to get moving. You'll want to take these small steps which will get you where you want to be. Now, next up, I'm sharing the framework which will help you do the work you love and get paid fairly for it. And I'm excited just knowing what a difference that's going to make. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, this is Tim Reagan saying, let's get going.